We're going to move on to Kansas City Chiefs at the Washington football team. And, God, I mean, sometimes you're wrong in your analysis, and sometimes you just are just so embarrassingly wrong. And I was with the Chiefs. I mean, when it was 24-13 going into the half, they were so lucky to even be 24-13. I guess I'm just dealing with the vividness bias of the Chiefs, and it's costing me money. Chiefs 2-3, 1-1 on the road. Washington football team 2-3, 1-2 at home. FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. We'll start with the market here, and we have the Washington football team opening up as 6.5-point dogs. That's moved to 7. This total opened up at 55.5, and that's where it is, 55.5 right across the board. When we move to the cash in this spot, 8,000 tickets in. So we have more tickets in on this game than any other. 85% of the tickets on the Chiefs, just 80% of the cash. I just mean 5% difference there. Then we have 41% of the tickets on the under, 26% of the cash. So big bets coming in on the over in this spot. Chiefs come in after getting beaten in every phase of the game at home by the Bills, 38-20. Mahomes, 33-54 for 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. He also ran 8 times for 61 yards, losing a fumble. McCole Hardman, 9 for 76. Tyreek Hill, 7 for 63. Travis Kelce, 6 for 57 and 1 touchdown. Tyreek Hill still shows that explosiveness. Obviously, a lot of talk about the cover 2 being able to kind of slow him down. But Kelce, he just doesn't look like that dominant force that I remember. Then they lose Clyde Edwards-Helaire to a left knee injury. It looks bad. He's been placed on the IR. They got no pressure with Chris Jones injured. Frank Clark being back wasn't enough. They finished with no sacks, 1 quarterback hit. Their defense could do nothing. Allen, so I was saying this earlier, and so Allen completed 7 passes in the first half. Just 7 for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. Javarius Ward and Chris Jones are both listed as questionable this week. Washington comes in off a 33-22 loss at home to the Saints. Heineke, 20-41 for 248 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks. Humphreys, 3 catches for 73 yards. DeAndre Hunter, 4 for 62. Scary Terry, 4 for 46. Antonio Gibson, 20 carries for 60 yards. 2 sacks, 9 quarterback hits. Chase Young got his first sack of the season. I think that Dommy Gunn-Ricci just put it out on a tee for us when he broke down this Washington defense, that they're not good. I know it's easy to say now, but last year their division was so unbelievably weak that we thought they were great. After that win over Atlanta, it was like maybe they turned the corner. Saints finished with 369 yards, had scoring drives of 75, 60, and 75. Hail Mary, 1 play Hail Mary position cash. Curtis Samuel's groin injury continues. He missed the first 3 games of the season. He was targeted once by Heineke. Sam Cosmi, right tackle injured his left ankle. Attempted to return later. He limped off. Let's go over everything here because we know that Scherf and Jami Brown, and Scherf was a 2020 All-Pro right guard, inactive with a knee injury. Darryl Roberts with a quad injury. Let's go over everything right now for Washington. So Scherf, Sims, Jami Brown, questionable. Curtis. So it's possible that Fitzy could come back week 7, but I don't think quarterback is the problem here. Curtis Samuel, week to week. Don't expect him in the lineup. And Darryl Roberts, cornerback, dealing with quadriceps injury, out, and cost me with the ankle injury. Logan Thomas on IR, isn't practicing. Bebsie, very interesting spot here. Chiefs, Washington football team. Take it away.
Well, I think the Chiefs desperately need a win here. And that's crazy to say in week 6 against the Washington football team that the Kansas City Chiefs desperately need a win. But they're sitting there 2-3. Mahomes has not looked great this year. Their defense has been abysmal. And there's a lot of people questioning whether or not the Chiefs are done. I don't think they're done. I do question what the hell is going on, though. Like Mahomes is looking bad. He looked terrible against Buffalo. His decisions were bad. His throws were off. A lot of that is Buffalo's defense playing great against them. But I know what you're saying about Kelce not looking the same. He's not looking as explosive. Tyreek has had some incredible games. He's had some games where he was almost invisible. I don't know what to make of it, because if I'm Andy Reid right now, I'm losing it on my team, and I'm pushing for not just a win but a blowout this week. This has to be a statement win spot for them to save their season, to be honest with you. So for that reason, I want to back the Chiefs, but how do you back them after the way they've been playing? They've squeaked out the wins that they had. They barely beat the Browns in week 1. And I just, if you're not doing it this week, if you're not coming in and smashing the Washington football team the way they've been playing, they get beaten handedly by the Saints this past week. Their defense has clearly lost that identity that they did have. I just don't know when it happens for the Chiefs.
I do I, but I don't want to lay 7 here. Dennis says when the offense doesn't work, defense steps up. When defense doesn't work, offense steps up. That's what good teams do. Find ways to win. KC is not a good team finding ways to lose.
And to be honest with you, and I tweeted this out, a couple of people, very few people paid attention to it, but the Kansas City Chiefs should have lost by a lot more. The officiating in that game was doing everything they can to keep that game close, so people didn't change the channel. And I've talked about this on the show before. Every primetime game has, if it starts slipping, they'll penalize the team that's dominating enough to try and drag the other team back into it. There was that suspect call on was it Ryan Clark or was it Chris Jones? I can't remember, that roughing the passer. I think it was Ryan Clark.
Yeah, Jones was out.
Yeah, it was Ryan Clark. But every other suspect penalty was clearly thrown against Buffalo, and it was so glaringly obvious. So the Chiefs probably should have lost by 30 points in that game. So I agree with what Dennis Garcia is saying. So therefore I can't back the Chiefs, but man, would I not want to put money on Washington.
I don't know what to do with this spot. I see I see looks here on, and look, when Ron Crawford likes a spot, you pay extra attention. Ron Crawford says they'll outscore Washington, bottom line, KC -7. Maybe this is the perfect time to back Kansas City. It certainly was when they went into Philadelphia. Do you see similarities here?
Sorry, what's that?
Just the similarities between Kansas City going into Philadelphia, needing a win, putting up 42 points very easily. Do you see similarities here?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they've had their one convincing win this season was that win. Now, mind you, they did beat the Browns, which is a very good football team. But that's exactly what I'm saying, is that if the time is now for them to do that. But are they? It's one thing to say that. Yeah, this is what they need to do. They need to come out and dominate and have a convincing win. But are they going to do it? And I don't know if I have a ton of confidence in that. They should come out and pummel this Washington team.
I don't know if they're going to do it.
I don't know if they are either. And also, was anything mentioned about Kelce? Is he fine? Because that hit he took at the end was pretty vicious.
It was so vicious. That's a good point, because I've got no information on him whatsoever. I was just past the scotch, though. So